AITA for cutting ties with my best friend after she stole my identity. I, 28, never thought I would find myself in a situation like this. My best friend, Sarah, 27, whom I had known since we were in elementary school, had always been my rock. We shared everything with each other, from our deepest secrets to our wildest dreams. We were inseparable and had always promised to have each other's backs, no matter what. Everything changed when I received a call from my bank one sunny afternoon. They informed me that there had been suspicious activity on my account and that someone had tried to open several credit cards in my name. My heart sank as I tried to wrap my head around what was happening. How could someone have gotten a hold of my personal information? I had always been careful with my sensitive data, or so I thought. As I dug deeper into the situation, I discovered that the culprit behind the identity theft was none other than Sarah. She had used my social security number, date of birth, and other personal details to apply for loans and credit cards, racking up thousands of dollars in debt. I was devastated, shocked, and above all, betrayed. How could my best friend do something so heinous to me? The first conflict arose when I confronted Sarah about the identity theft. At first, she denied everything, claiming that there must have been a mistake or a mix-up. She tried to gaslight me, making me doubt my own beliefs and instincts. But as evidence piled up against her, she could no longer keep up the facade. Eventually, Sarah broke down and admitted to stealing my identity. She tearfully confessed that she had been going through financial troubles and saw this as a way to dig herself out of the hole. She begged for my forgiveness and pleaded with me to understand her desperation. But I couldn't bring myself to sympathize with her. The betrayal cut deep, and I felt like I didn't even know who she was anymore. The betrayal of trust was too much for me to handle. I couldn't fathom how Sarah, my supposed best friend, could deceive me in such a profound way. Our friendship had always been built on honesty, loyalty, and mutual respect. But now, all of that had been shattered into a million pieces. I felt like I didn't know who I could trust anymore, and it made me question every interaction I had ever had with Sarah. In the aftermath of the revelation, I made the difficult decision to cut ties with Sarah. I couldn't continue to have someone in my life who had shown such callous disregard for my well-being. The thought of her using my identity for her own selfish gain made me sick to my stomach. It was a violation of the highest order, and I couldn't simply sweep it under the rug and pretend like everything was okay. The fallout from cutting ties with Sarah was immense. Our mutual friends were shocked and torn between us, not knowing whose side to take. Some believed that Sarah deserved a second chance, that she had made a mistake in a moment of desperation. Others, like me, couldn't forgive her for what she had done. The rift that had formed between us seemed impossible to mend, and it tore our social circle apart. Update: in the weeks following the fallout, Sarah tried desperately to reach out to me to apologize and make amends. She sent me countless messages and voicemails, begging for my forgiveness and understanding. But I couldn't bring myself to respond. The wounds were still fresh, and I needed time to heal and process everything that had happened. As the days turned into weeks, the tension between us only grew. I heard through the grapevine that Sarah was struggling to make ends meet, that the debt she had accrued in my name was weighing heavily on her conscience. But I couldn't find it in my heart to feel sorry for her. The damage had been done, and no amount of remorse could undo the harm she had caused. The betrayal of trust had forever changed the dynamic of our friendship. I couldn't look at Sarah the same way, couldn't trust her with even the smallest of secrets. The bond we had shared for so many years was irreparably broken, and I knew deep down that things would never be the same between us. And now, as I sit here, reflecting on everything that had transpired, I can't help but wonder, am I the asshole for cutting ties with my best friend after she stole my identity? Did I overreact, or was it a necessary step to protect myself from further harm? The questions plague my mind, but deep down, I know that I made the right decision. Trust is a fragile thing, and once broken, it's almost impossible to repair. And as much as it pains me to admit it, Sarah had shattered that trust into a million irreparable pieces. I had always prided myself on being a forgiving person, someone who believed in second chances and redemption. But Sarah's betrayal had tested that belief in ways I never thought possible. The thought of her using my identity for her own selfish gain still haunted me, leaving a bitter taste in my mouth whenever her name was mentioned. As time passed, I found myself slowly starting to heal from the wounds she had inflicted. The anger and resentment began to fade, replaced by a numb acceptance of what had happened. I no longer felt the need to check my credit report obsessively or worry that she would strike again. But the scars of her betrayal remained, a constant reminder of the friend I had lost. One day, out of the blue, I received a message from Sarah. She apologized once more, acknowledging the pain she had caused and expressing genuine remorse for her actions. She claimed to have sought help for her financial troubles and was working hard to turn her life around. Part of me wanted to believe her, to see the good in her that had once been a defining feature of our friendship. But another part of me couldn't bring myself to trust her words, knowing how easily she had lied to me before. I mulled over her message for days, unsure of how to respond. Should I give her another chance, a glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, she had changed for the better? Or should I stick to my decision to cut ties with her, to protect myself from further heartache and disappointment? In the end, I decided to meet with Sarah one last time, to hear her out and see if she had truly changed. The meeting was tense, filled with awkward silences and hesitant apologies. Sarah looked worn down, the weight of her guilt evident in every word she spoke. She begged for my forgiveness once more, promising that she would do whatever it took to make things right. But as I listened to her pleas, I realized that forgiveness was not something I could give easily. The hurt and betrayal were still fresh, the wounds still raw. I knew that I could never fully trust her again, that the damage done was too great to repair. And so, with a heavy heart, I bid her farewell for the last time, knowing that our friendship had reached its final chapter. In the days, weeks, and months that followed, I tried my best to move on from the pain of losing my best friend to her own selfish desires. I surrounded myself with people who were trustworthy and kind, rebuilding the trust that had been so callously broken. But a part of me still mourned the loss of what could have been, the friendship that had once meant so much to me. So am I the asshole for cutting ties with my best friend after she stole my identity? Perhaps. But sometimes the greatest act of self-love is knowing when to walk away from toxic relationships, no matter how much it hurts. And in the end, I know that my decision to protect myself was the right one, even if it left both sides hating each other. Was the op in the wrong? Comment down below and make sure to like and subscribe.